안녕하세요. 조선닷컴 미디어 인터뷰 김이나입니다. 요리와 음악은 언어를 뛰어넘는 만국 공통 언어로 불리는데요. 오늘 이 자리에는 맛있는 요리로 세계인의 이목을 사로잡고 있는 스타 셰프 한 분이 오셨습니다. 미국 인기 프로그램인 렛츠디시의 진행자 크리스토퍼 퀘키 씨가 바로 그 주인공인데요. 오늘은 퀘키 씨와 함께 최고의 요리는 어떤 것인지 함께 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
And hello to you.
네, 한국의 시청자들에게 간단히 소개 부탁드립니다.
I would love to. So I am, as you can see from my uniform, a chef. And I have wanted to be a chef since I was 12 years old. And when I was 13, I started to work in my first restaurant. And it was a French restaurant, a very fancy restaurant. And it started my journey towards becoming a professional chef. And along the way, I had an opportunity to work in some of the best restaurants in the world, with some of the best chefs of the world, in France, in Switzerland, and in the United States. And years later, one day, I received a telephone call from a place called Kendall College. And they said, "Would you like to teach?" I thought, I've never thought about that before. So I decided that I would teach for 2 years. Now, 17 years later, I'm still teaching because I learned that I love to teach. And I love to teach the next generation of chefs.
네, 굉장히 멋진 과정을 거쳐 오셨는데요. 이번 행사를 통해서 대중에게 요리 비법을 공개하신다고 들었습니다. 어떤 행사인가요?
I'm going to be teaching a master class this afternoon, actually. And the master class that I'm going to do it's very different from a lot of the culinary demonstrations that maybe you've seen before. Because this master class is not just about cooking something. What it really is it is the journey of culinary education at Kendall College. We'll start with a potato and how to use a knife, because all culinary students start there. And along the way, we're going to learn many different things, including some things that people don't always think about, like business and nutrition and sustainability.
네, 굉장히 기대가 되는 행사인데요. 그렇다면 이 행사를 기획한 특별한 이유가 있으신지요?
This is an opportunity to meet with students who are interested in coming to Kendall, and I've already had a meeting with a number of them who I can't wait for them to come to Kendall, and also to teach people in Korea about what Kendall College is, because Kendall is a very special place, and it's a place that is dedicated to the highest level of culinary arts and of culinary arts education. So that's why I'm here, and of course also to eat some of your food.
네, 얘기를 듣다 보니까 굉장히 흥미로운데요. 이번 마스터 클래스를 통해서 퀘키 씨의 요리 철학을 엿볼 수 있을 것 같네요. 퀘키 씨께서는 요리를 할 때 중요하게 생각하는 부분이 어떤 부분인지 궁금합니다.
That is always a difficult question to answer because it's hard to say just one thing. You know, what is the most important thing? That's difficult. I think for me, when it comes to cooking, when it comes to my philosophy of food, it starts here. And for most chefs, it starts here. It's about passion. And when we talk to students, we talk about 3 very important words. And it really defines how I approach food. And there are students all over the world who know these 3 words, even here in Korea now. The 3 words are passion. You have to love what you do. You have to love to cook. You have to feel the food. You have to see the flavors in your head before you create. You have to know the ingredients and love the ingredients. What is a quality ingredient? What isn't a quality ingredient? It all starts with passion. The next word is discipline. And it's not enough just to love to cook. That's not enough. It also takes a lot of work. And one of the things that you'll see in the master class, and I'm going to talk about, is the discipline. Because for me, just because I love to cook is not enough. It took many, many years and many, many, many hours to learn to cook like I do today. And the discipline is also about learning all the time. Third word is intensity. So the first word, passion, second word, discipline, third word is intensity. And intensity is, you're going to see that in the master class. Chefs, we're kind of intense people. We live intensely, we cook intensely, we feel things intensely. And one of the things that we tell our students is you have to learn intensely. So that's my philosophy. It's all wrapped up into that. Because if you have the love and the passion, and you work really hard, and you live in an intense way, when all that comes together, that's great food. That's what I like to do.
네, 요리 얘기를 들으니까 쾌키 씨의 요리 방법이 굉장히 궁금해지는데요. 셰프 쾌키 씨의 요리 비법을 따로 배울 수 있는 방법이 있을까요?
So Kendall College is a wonderful college, university in Chicago, Illinois, USA. And one of the things that we're very famous for is our culinary education. We've been teaching culinary arts for 30 years. And so we have a very long record of teaching culinary, and we have many, many famous alums, graduates. So when people ask me about Kendall, I basically say that the best way to describe it is with 3 words. Or I should say 3 questions. And the questions are, where do you learn? Who teaches you? And how do you learn? So let's talk about where first. Kendall College is in Chicago, and that's important. Because Chicago is a great food city, a great hospitality city. We have many Michelin stars, many famous chefs, many famous restaurants. And we have great hotels. We also have one of the largest convention centers in the United States as well, and in the world. So the opportunities are huge. The opportunities for working in hotels and in restaurants. And by the way, for the people who live there, you get to eat foods from all over the world. It's a great, great food city. Secondly, where you learn is at Kendall College. So what do you see at Kendall College? What you see is a facility, a building that's fairly big, but has everything that you need to learn in an intense way of learning. What does that mean? We have 13 kitchens, and these are not small kitchens, they're big kitchens with all the equipment you need to learn. We have 3 restaurants. Now each restaurant is different, and students will be and will learn in each of the 3 different restaurants. So that's about where. Now, who teaches you? That's an important thing also, because our chefs, we have 19 full-time chefs that teach at Kendall College. These are not chefs who have been cooking for 2 or 3 years. In many instances, it's chefs who have been cooking 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And you can imagine the experience that these chefs have. Now, it's not just that they're great chefs, but they're chefs who are committed to teaching. The chefs who work at Kendall College, they're at Kendall College because they want to teach. And so, what does that mean? They're great chefs, and they're great teachers at the same time. That's exactly who you learn from. So the last one is how you learn at Kendall College. Kendall is not huge. We have a little over 400 culinary students for all of those kitchens. And what that means is that Kendall is like a family. So on the one side, it's rigorous, it's demanding. And on the other side, there's a very real sense of caring, of caring for our students, of making sure that our students are being successful, and that the chefs get to know the students. We know who our students are. It's very much like a family. Now, you put all those three together: where you learn, who teaches you, and how you learn. What does that mean? At the end of your time at Kendall,
Perfect.
you're perfect, exactly. You are ready to go into any restaurant and be successful. And you're ready to grow, and one day with much more experience to become a chef. And as I said earlier, we've seen so many of our alumni become great chefs. That's what we're all about.
네, 말씀 잘 들었습니다. 오늘 열심히 준비하신 만큼 성공적으로 마스터 클래스 마무리할 수 있기를 바랍니다. 시간 내주셔서 고맙습니다.
Thank you. What it feels like to be a student.
두 가지 다른 색깔이 있죠.
Because students, now right now, you'll notice
참여합니다.
you're going to cut. You learned how to cook meat properly. You learned how to keep going. You have one more to go. Keep going.